well, beforehand, we need to compile our code. Okay, let's just say we have our class files, okay, that we have actually compiled. And let's say, well, maybe this is main.class, whatever. Okay, but we're going to say Java main, for example. Okay, what's going to happen when we do this? Okay, so this is the name of the class. Okay, so it is something that's actually important. There will be a class loader, and it has the job of actually loading all the classes that are needed for this program to work. Okay, so the first thing, of course, is, well, we're going to, if you've written your classes, yeah, let's say we actually have, yeah, maybe we have a couple of class files here, whatever. And maybe one of them was main, one of them was book, and so on. You can imagine all the different rest of types of classes you have. These all need to go inside the into the runtime. So we need to load those classes. Normally, when we're doing simple programs, we're launching the Java runtime in the same folder where these are all available. Okay, so the Java runtime just sees that these are sitting in the folder and then loads them. Okay, these are the classes we're going to need. But we use lots of other classes. For example, when you use the string class to model a string, you kind of have to ask yourself the question, well, where does that come from? So there is Java's own standard library that needs to get loaded as well. And this is basically thousands and thousands of classes potentially. And that will be also loaded. Okay, because we will, if we use strings in our program, then we're going to need to have something to model strings. Okay, once we've loaded all the classes, then we can start the JVM. Yeah, if I try to just actually, what happens if I try to root Java a class that doesn't exist? So let's just Java main 4, we never had that. Okay, you'll get that message. Okay, could not find or load main class main 4 caused by java.lang.class not found exception. And if we list that folder, we can see that there's no such thing as Java main 4. Okay, so hopefully that convinces you there's this process happening, then we need to load these classes. Okay, once we have that, then as I've done before, I like to think about the JVM as just this box. And we have a book class, so we can make book references that point to some objects. Now we can imagine multiple books inside the JVM. Now this is my kind of, like, at least my kind of simplistic view where these things are floating around, but actually there's a lot of memory management going on inside. And in particular, we need a place to store the objects. So we have what's called a heap. And we also need to store all the memory and things that are needed for a currently executing method. So we have somewhere to store what's going on inside a method as well. Because you think about a method, it takes in a parameter, and that is usually something which needs to be modeled and stored. This kind of goes a little bit off base for us because we don't really look too much at how Java manages the memory.